What's what's up, guys? We are back. I think I've muffled that a little bit, but it's all right. What's up, guys? We're back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, the best investments to make in your personal training gym. People talk about investments all the time. I hear this all the time, especially when a gym starts making money. Oh, where should I invest my money? Where should I invest my money? Should I buy stocks? Should I buy real estate? What should I be doing? The best investment you can make is in yourself. And you need to kind of look within your gym to build those investments, because if you invest in yourself and in the gym, you're going to get way more output and way more profit from investing inside something that you're already currently doing, as opposed to starting another branch and doing something totally different. So we're going to be talking all about the investments that you should be making today. But before we get on that, we started a Facebook group, guys. It's going to be a really, really cool community with like-minded gym owners solving all your problems. So click that link below and you can join that group, that Facebook group. I don't remember the name of it, or I would say the URL, but it's just right in that below. And you can
Micro
find all the
Gym
other
Profit Mastery. Micro Gym Profit Mastery. If you don't remember the link, Micro Gym Profit Mastery, search that on Facebook. Our group will come up. It's small right now, guys, if you're listening to this like right after we post it. But we're looking for like-minded gym owners that want to grow, want help, want the ins and outs of how they can actually build a profitable gym, because we know people that have a lot of revenue and a little profit, and we know people that have a little revenue and also have little profit. So we want you to be big revenue, big profit, right? That's the way to have the freedom and have the life that you want. Free information in that group. Ask all the questions that you need to. It's a resource for you, absolutely free. So jump on there and jump into the group.
You have to say things 3 times. I actually was listening to an interview with the Liver King. I actually like that guy, actually. It's really funny. I actually really like that guy. I think he's a really
The Liver
great
King?
Yeah, I think he's a really great marketer. I don't like if you push all the side, like the eating the raw liver and testicles, if you listen to what he actually says, like his message is actually a really, really good message. But he was talking about how he was doing like pharmaceutical sales, and one of the things that they taught him was you have to repeat things 3 times, because that's how people remember it. So that's why he has like his shticks. Like, you have to eat liver because liver is king, and he says it over and over. So Micro Gym Profit Mastery, Micro Gym Profit Mastery, Micro Gym Profit Mastery, guys. So that's the link there. But yeah, so let's get into the best investments you can make. And this one has skyrocketed on this list for me because there was never something that I really believed in, and I never looked at it as an investment. But it is a big investment because you're investing in the future. So the first one is ads, running ads, specifically in this case, Facebook and Instagram ads. I don't know if you can with YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look. And I know you definitely can't with Google ads, but Facebook and Instagram ads are one of the best investments you can make into your fitness business, because you're growing your list. So someone opts in, they've raised their hand that they are interested in working with you. Now, you're not going to convert all those people up front, unfortunately. But what you are doing at the same time is the people who raise their hands who are interested will follow through. But the people who raise their hands who are not yet ready will go into your follow-up sequences. So, and you could sell them later on. Like, I've had people who we've reached out to months ago. So it's actually happened yesterday. 6 months ago, this lady opted in for our program, and she reached out yesterday from Facebook. So she 6 months ago opted in, and only now is reaching out. That's an investment, guys. That is a big, big investment. But now also you have their cell phone number, you have their email address. Now you can remarket to them constantly. You are growing your list. Now, if you want to send out a text blast, you want to try to get some, shake the trees, so to say, and you need some leads at the end of the month and you want to bring some sales in, you send out a text blast to all those numbers. That's an asset. That's an investment in your business. Same thing, you could do emails. Maybe you have, and if you go back and listen to our episode on upsells, maybe you want to promote that you're doing nutrition coaching now. So you send out an email to all of these people, and maybe you have someone who raised their hand who are interested in that, but you only got that from the investment. So like I said, that was never usually a big thing for me, but it has become since Jimmy has kind of opened my eyes to the whole world of Facebook ads and Instagram ads. But it is one of the best, and that's why it's number one on our list, the best investment you could make. If you have any extra profit in your gym, dump it into ads for sure. But ads where you actually get good information, their cell phone number, their email address. If you can get their address, that's great too, because then you could market to them by sending them snail mail. But that is number one best investment.
And Facebook is the easiest place to start, guys. I mean, there's plenty of other ways that you can invest your dollars into marketing and into advertising, right? There's plenty of other ways, you know, and I've tried a lot of them. Okay. I've tried the door hangers and the mailers and even a billboard for a while, right? Like I've tried Google, I've tried everything under the sun. And what we found is the easiest way to get a measurable return on your ad spend for a local brick and mortar business is Facebook and Instagram advertising, right? It's just the way to do it. Now, it's a beast in and of itself. So if you don't know how to structure it properly, you might be burning dollar bills. Okay. So be cautious. We have some marketing math episodes that we've done that you can go back and listen to kind of make sure that you're on the right path with Facebook advertising. But Facebook advertising campaigns have transformed my gym. And it's what allows me to hit that 7-figure run rate, right? I would say. With the back end stuff, but that initial money investment is in that platform. Okay. Is in that platform. So extra profits. And if your gym is struggling right now and you're still pulling out income for yourself and you're wondering when you're going to pay, like I was talking to a gym owner the other day. And this is a couple months ago, looking for our help. And I say, well, what's going on? What's going on with your business? And he goes, well, I got to pay back rent because my landlord is, you know, coming back with back rent from COVID because I wasn't paying rent during COVID, right? During the virus, right? And I say, well, okay, what do your finances look like? How much are you paying each staff member? What's your profit? All this stuff, right? And I go, how much are you paying yourself? And he goes, oh, like $5,000 a month. And I'm like, but you're not spending any money on advertising. Oh no. And this guy was under 20 grand in top line, right? So I'm like, dude, the first thing that I would do is your wife works, right? She makes money. You'll be okay. Cut your pay to nothing and push that into ads because it'll return for you way more over the next 3 months. If you take 90 days and you don't pay yourself and you push that into ads, and you get those clients in, you follow up with them like crazy, because now your feet are against the fire, right? I don't think he took that recommendation. And I'm not telling you to put yourself in the poorhouse right now, but a short period of time of investing in ads instead of taking an income can transform how your business operates. So biggest return on investment you're going to get advertising for sure.
Yeah, agreed. And I see it, man. I understand that guy's, you know, issues. It's a scary thing. You know, you're going to take $5,000 and dump it into Facebook ads. I mean, think about how many leads you're going to actually get if you did that. And if you only converted a small percentage of that, that's still a lot more than you would get. So how many leads just on average, Jimmy, you're the math guy. I don't even want to attempt doing this. $5,000, if you invested into Facebook, about how many leads would you get from that? Just random, you know, just eyeballed. Everything's working good, $20 leads.
250
leads. And if they convert at the normal percentage that they usually do, how many new clients would you add?
30, 35 probably.
35 clients. Now let's say they're paying $400 a month. What is that?
They're paying $400 a month. Look, for easy math, let's just say 40, right? So what is that? $16,000.
And what was his back rent?
He owed a total back rent over the next 12 months of like 60 grand, right? Okay. So it's kind of a lot. Yeah. But when you convert those people, that's recurrent, right? So even if it's 10 grand that you create off of that 5 grand ad spend, if your conversion rates are lower and everything that's not as good, and say you're spending that 5 grand ad spend over a 2-month period of time. Okay, let's just say, right? You're spending 5 grand over 2 months, 2,500 a month. You're still paying yourself 2,500. Okay, and over that period of time, you're getting 30, right? 30 times 400 is still 12,000, right? So, I mean, just crunch that math, right? It's $12,000 recurrent revenue per month. You just transformed your business and added a significant amount. The math in my head is failing me. I think that's 100 and
well, they get the idea, right? I mean, the
They get the
purpose of that is like, so what else is that guy going to do with that $5,000 that he's taking home? I mean, yeah, he's going to pay his bills and whatever else. But think about that for a second. So he's taking the 5 grand that he's going to put in the bank at home, right? Dumping that into his business, getting almost a 3x multiple on that in his business. So he could still pay himself that 5,000 the next month.
right.
Pay himself that 5,000 the next month and have 10,000 in reoccurring.
You can transform your business in 90 days if you run Facebook advertising correctly, especially if you're a small outfit, right? Especially if you're a small outfit, right? If you're larger, like we are, you kind of have to run Facebook advertising all the time to stay where you're at to a degree, because you got higher churn rate and this and that, and your churn should be balanced by your referrals, but neither here nor there. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and move on. But just the math of it, the best investment you can make in your fitness business is direct response advertising, period.
So guys, wait, just to do a little bit more on that math end of it. So if we spend 5,000 $20 leads, let's just say 250 leads, right? Just to say.
Yeah.
Now, not all 250 are going to buy, but now you have a list of 250 people that you've built who may buy 6 months down the line. So that
Correct.
investment is still there, especially if you don't have a list at all right now. So if you went from 0 people to 250 people you could market to regularly, that's great. That's an investment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's number one. We kind of beat that one up. I don't want to go too far down the line.
Don't be afraid.
Second one. Yeah, don't be afraid is right.
Yeah.
Number 2, the best investment you could make to make your personal training gym more profitable is in your team. Now, I did a talk for a gym the other day, and I actually put it on the YouTube channel and also the feed of the podcast. So I'm sure you guys have listened to it at this point. But I basically did a talk on how you can keep your clients forever. And I did something called the restaurant gym. And I basically went into and explained how the restaurant gym is really the best way to run a gym, because you got the atmosphere and all this stuff. But the main thing is, whenever you have a restaurant, you want to make sure the food is good, because the food is the thing that people come in for. So even if everything else kind of sucks, but the food is good, people will come back. So the other stuff is a lot easier to fix than the food, right? But the food is the team and the coaching of the team. So making the investment of the team and into the team, taking them out to seminars, getting them educated on other things, buying them courses, that is one of the best forms of investment you can make on your team, because it's going to make the food taste better. So investing in your team. And I would also say too, if you have a really, really good teammate, investing in your team in a sense, like try to give them more ways to make more money. Yeah. You know, me and Jimmy had a discussion the other day because a salesperson had sold a high package, a paid in full high package. And I wasn't sure what to pay, because that's the first time someone else other than myself has sold a big amount like that. So we talked about it, and we decided to make the investment on the bigger side of it, because now that coach is incentivized to sell more of those bigger packages. So that was an investment that I made in my salesperson to push them to keep going forward. And you making those investments in your team is going to return you. It's almost like an infinite amount, because think about it, as you step back in your business, you start, you have more team and you start doing kind of less and less busy work, and you're working more on the business. Your team is your number one protection against having you from jumping back into that day-to-day stuff. So the simplest way I could put this is if you completely not doing any coaching anymore and one of your trainers goes out and you have to jump back in, well, that's taking you away from the higher level tasks that you should be doing as a profitable, smart gym owner. So investing in your team, hiring people to come on as a bonus so you never have to step into that is an investment. You know, Jimmy and I were talking about this too the other day because, you know, Jimmy was saying how it's like, you know, his staff is perfect right now. But if someone goes out sick or someone takes a vacation, you know, Jimmy's got to jump in, and that's not a good spot. So we made the thing where we said, okay, if I hire somebody and pay $2,500 a month for them to be an employee, it's a $2,500 investment that I never have to go on the floor. And now Jimmy can take that $2,500 investment that he made and add 10K of recurring revenue to his business.
Right.
Bottom line. So invest in your team, guys. Do not be afraid to invest in your team, because if you don't invest in them, the food is not going to get better. And you always want to have top-notch food at your facility, because like I said, the other stuff can be fixed relatively easy. And once those other things are good, it takes very little, but that lever of fixing your food is really going to make a huge impact on your business and on your profit.
And personal trainers are people, right? They like relationships. They really kind of have this social nature to them, right? Some of them are more in the X's and O's of the training, and I get that. But to be a successful personal
to be a sex symbol.
To be a sex symbol personal trainer, you got to wear tight yoga pants. So to be a successful personal trainer, you have to have that personality, right? You have to be liked and all this kind of stuff. And so investing in your team is not only paying them appropriately, giving them raises when appropriate, giving them more opportunities to make more money, that kind of thing, but it's also taking care of them in other ways, right? So just this past weekend, I took the whole team out to a continuing education seminar, right? So they got their continuing education credit. The company paid for it. I drove them, so the company paid for the gas, right? The company paid to travel there, right? Sure, it brought my taxable income down a little bit because, you know, I paid for their continuing ed, but it was a benefit for them. And then the next day, I actually stayed up until like 3 a.m. that night to put a brisket on my smoker, and I had the whole team over for like a brisket barbecue, right? It was like a team building weekend, and we played games and laughed together and spent this time with some team cohesion that was outside of the work environment. So we laughed and joked and came together as a team to better build that relationship, so that you really are this team that is helping all these people and you have this cohesion, right? So investing in your team is not only financial, but it's time. So if you're doing things to build your business and grow your business and not work in your business, but work on your business, your time is really well spent having some of those tough conversations with your staff, with your team, talking to them through some of the issues they're having, being that person to lean on when they need some mentorship, right? These things are very important to keep your team engaged with your business and invest in them in an emotional way. And yes, time is money, but that time spent to build that emotional relationship with your team will pay dividends in the future and is really a meaningful investment of your time. So don't discount that as something that you should or that you need to be doing on a regular basis.
I actually love what you just said, and that brought up a good point. When we say invest in your team, it doesn't always necessarily mean money-wise. Like Jimmy said, team building. I'm not an accountant, guys, but you can take your staff out to do things. So, for example, my staff, we all like Marvel. We watch all the Marvel movies. Like, we talk about it. It's like one of the things, especially the guys, right? The girls just like kind of, they watch it too, but they're not as into it as the guys, right? So anyway, the new Marvel movies coming out this weekend as we're recording this, I'm taking the whole staff. So it's an investment that I'm making in my team, but it's an investment to bring the team together as a whole. So remember, those types of activities, and maybe movies not so much, but it's because you can't really like talk during a movie. But we're going to go out to eat after that. We're just going to kind of hang out. And again, if you can get around your team and build that team, you know, adherence and togetherness, they're not going to want to leave, especially if you have good team members. There's a lot of benefits to outside of their work other than their pay, right? So if they have a really cool environment, so like think about it. One of my head trainers, he's a really good guy and he loves Marvel. Now he's gonna go tell his friends, like, yo, I won't my boss took everyone out to go see the new movie. Like, that's cool. No other job does that. So again, the investment you could make could be in something as simple as that, but that's an investment because now you're investing to bring the team together. It doesn't always have to be educational, which I think it should, but bringing the team together is really, really important too. So that was a really good point, Jimmy. And I didn't get invited over for brisket, man. So I'm a little upset about that.
I'll book you a flight.
All right. And number 3, the best investment that you can make is obviously going to be in yourself. And with that, it's going to be coaching. Here's the caveat with coaching. And this is, it almost didn't make the list. Here's the thing. Coaching is very, very important because you're paying for someone else's expertise so you can jump the timeline. So in other words, if you hire Jimmy and I, you're going to jump the timeline and get to that $1 million run rate a lot faster than if you were to do it on your own, because we can help you get there faster because we've done it. Scratching and clawing to get there. But there are so many bad coaches. It is crazy. I've hired a bunch of people for a bunch of different things. And my bullshit radar detector is usually high. I don't trust a lot of people. So when I invest in somebody and I do a coaching program, I'm always looking to try to see what I can get out of it and then get out. That's kind of like my mentality of it, because I just don't trust people, because I don't trust that they're actually care about me and actually care about my results and things like that. So I think that with coaching, it's very, very important. You have to find the right person. Like, is the person actively doing what you wanted to do, what you're looking to do? Are they willing to go above and beyond to help you in your situation? Is it just a course that you're buying? Because people invest in courses all the time and think that that's actually coaching. It's not coaching. It's a course. You could take a course for free online. So yeah, that's what I have to say about coaching. I mean, Jimmy has definitely had way more coaches than me in the past because my bullshit meter has always been up, and I'm like, I don't believe in what you're going to tell me, and I don't believe that you're going to really solve. So a good example, I'm actually, I was listening to something about referrals the other day, and I did a referral coaching program before. This is in the past, and it was a lot of money, and it was terrible. It was so bad. It didn't help me at all. Basically, it was like create your dream 100 list. And that's essentially your clients. And you just kind of reach out to your clients all the time. It's just like, we should have been doing that already anyway. So it was a total waste of money. But I thought that was specific knowledge that I actually needed to grow. And it wasn't. And sometimes you have to pay that stupid tax almost to know, like, okay, that was bullshit. Next. And that's what helps you kind of develop the bullshit meter, so to say.
And I think that there's a little bit that I'll push back on that, because even though some coaches out there are overpriced for what they offer, I'm sure you guys are familiar with some of the coaches out there that are pretty overpriced for what they offer. And as long as you're not putting your business at risk by participating in some of these programs, so you have to know where the line is for you to not put your business at risk, because some coaches out there are charging so much that people's businesses are really at risk with how much they're spending on, whether it's an agency to run your ads or a coaching program that is way, way overpriced for where you're at revenue wise, where you're in the poorhouse because you're trying to pay this guy to give you consulting feedback that's not actually helping you grow and doesn't have a measurable ROI. You have to be able to determine those things and see what you're comfortable with in terms of the amount of money that you're actually putting into that coaching and what return that it's getting you. You have to calculate all that in to what the actual money back you're getting off of that program. Because if you're, spending 40 grand a year on a coach and you're only generating an additional 80 grand in revenue from that coach, sure, your making 40 grand more, but would you have just made that 40 grand more that year by getting on YouTube and searching for things and listening to this podcast and listening to and joining our group, right? Getting that free information. Maybe you would have. So, you have to have this exponential return on the amount that you're spending to get somebody to help you through the process. So you have to calculate all those things in. But my pushback is, even if you feel like you've been a little bit jaded from a coaching program, or you've kind of been burned by coaches in the past, you sometimes have to take the golden nuggets for what they were at that moment in your coaching journey of who's coaching you, and attach to those and go, well, I got this thing out of that, and that thing is valuable. So, take it for what it was, go back out there, because there are coaches that are out there that are really there to help you. But you have to be somewhat selective with it after you've been burned a few times. And sometimes you have to pay that stupid tax, like Anthony was saying, but don't look at those decisions as things that were mistakes, because you're not alone, right? You're not alone in that. It happens to a lot of people. But take those golden nuggets that you learned, and even if you took a couple things away that you now operate your business differently by, or your structure, your process is a little bit different because of something that this coach kind of gave to you, which he could have really given to you in one call, but it took a year of paying dues to get that thing. It still helped you grow, and it's still a mainstay in your business. So don't beat yourself up too much. You're not alone. A lot of us have been burned. And that's one of the main reasons why Anthony and I have decided to help other gym owners, because we think we can do it better. And
not think. Because
right.
we literally had like I said before, scratch and claw to get to where we are today. I have multiple facilities. That's not an easy thing to do. And I had gotten advice from a coach before. It's like, just open up another facility. It's really not as easy as it sounds. It's really not. And without the proper guidance, it has been more of a burden. I wish that I never did it initially, because I would have been way more profitable if I did it. And I would have been less stressed during that. I mean, granted, when that happened, we had a thing go around, but neither here nor there. It was just still not the right advice for me at the time.
Right.
So I know we could do it better. And this is exactly why we're here today, guys.
So invest in a coach, but vet your coaches properly. Listen to their podcast, join their private groups, get involved in what they're doing, what they're offering for free. And if you resonate with that coach and that seems like a good fit, then schedule a call and talk to that coach. And it doesn't necessarily have to be us. We would love it for it to be us, because we are here to help. But vet that coach, listen to their free information, and then make that decision as to what you're going to do. And once you make that decision to do it, trust wholeheartedly that that person is guiding you through a process, because they know more than you do at that point, right? So,
and I would say with us, I'm gonna talk for us here for a second. You have two gym owners who literally have come from zero. You guys have heard it on the podcast before, started our stories. Jimmy and I have a very similar upbringing, zero. So we never want to go back to zero. That's kind of like the thing that's always like kind of in my mind, at least, that I'm never going to go back to zero. Never going to let myself go back to zero. And it's a scratch and claw way to just keep and protect money and changing our lives by doing that. So, you're going to get two coaches for the price of one, and two coaches who've done it, who've actually done it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. If you guys like what you're hearing, click that review button on wherever you're listening to this to. If it's on YouTube, give us a like, and make sure you hit that subscribe and all those other cool things. Because again, that just helps us to spread the word out there. And if you're interested in having us help you, just click that link below. But my takeaway from today, make the investments in your business for a better tomorrow. Take the profit that you have and start with number one. If you don't know what number one is at this point, go back and listen to the podcast in the beginning. But go back, invest in number one, start there. That's what I'm going to leave it off as. Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, we are out.